another part of DOT.
Yes. Great. So my name is Ray Martinez, and I'm the administrator of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. When people talk about automated vehicles, very often they think about that car picking them up at home and driving them to the office. They don't think about this in the commercial space. And yet, we know that there is significant interest out there in the marketplace, and that testing is currently occurring. You should understand that in our space, it is highly regulated, and we do so through our state partners. So the FMCSA really works very closely with the DMVs throughout the state, the DOTs, and the state police to regulate the commercial motor vehicle industry. Indeed, we have about 500,000 interstate motor carriers and about 4.7 million active holders of commercial driver licenses. But so those are the areas that how we regulate the industry right now. The Secretary has made clear, as was already referenced, that the priority is safety. Will always be safety, but we have to take a very forward-looking approach to this, because we cannot be what holds back these developments. This is occurring at such a quick pace that the best that we can do is to make sure that industry is as free as possible, safely, to proceed with testing and with development of these new technologies. So as excited as people are about fully automated vehicles, or perhaps automated vehicles in the commercial space, I'm really excited about all of the incremental advances that are adding to the commercial vehicles today, that are making those commercial vehicles safer today. And that is happening every year. One of the advantages that I get as the FMCSA administrator is to go to the new truck shows. I don't know how many people here go to the new, big truck shows, but they have all the bells and whistles and all the safety gadgets. It's really like stepping into a cockpit, and that is making the road safer every single day. Now, we know that 9 out of 10 serious roadway crashes occur because of poor human behavior. And so we're very excited about, and that includes in the commercial driving space, right? Not just, and many of the crashes, of course, involving commercial motor vehicles, the commercial motor vehicle, the vehicle itself, or the driver were not at fault. So we got to look at the whole landscape of what's happening on the roadways. But certainly in the commercial motor vehicles, we're looking at any improvements that would actually help improve safety. So 9 out of 10 of the crashes occur because of poor driving behavior. If that can be improved because of automated driving systems, we're certainly enthusiastic about that. We talk about everything from distractions, which occurs. There's currently technology that is used in commercial motor vehicles to monitor drivers to see if they're being distracted. That is helping in the large fleets. Speeding, of course, we know that there's technology that helps there, but there's other impaired types of activity. And I'm not just talking about impairments like drug and alcohol. I'm talking about fatigue, which is a major impairment that does affect the commercial motor vehicle drivers. So we're very excited, not just about the possibilities with regard to safety, but also how it might help the economy. And this clearly holds the promise for greater efficiency in the trucking industry and moving freight throughout our country. The balance, of course, is how do we balance safety and this innovation? So most recently, we put out a request for comment on automated driving systems from the FMCSA. It recently closed on May 10th. But please feel free to continue to send comments if you have not already done so. If you are giving thought now to automated vehicles in the commercial driving space, please go to our website at fmcsa.dot.gov and offer your suggestions. I can tell you that a very initial review of the responses that we got was that there was apprehension about AVs in the commercial space, primarily about whether the computers would be able to fully recognize the wide range of scenarios that have already been discussed and that everybody in this room knows. That's exactly what people are concerned about, except, of course, the physics are a little bit different if it's an 18-wheeler or a bus. They're concerned about, and this is an economic question, will this result in, reduction in the need for drivers? Well, that's true. Of course, we currently have a driver shortage in this country. If you hold a commercial driver license, you pretty much can get a job, and you have a clean record, you can get a job. But it's what is the impact? This will have significant impact on the economy. And of course, the comments also touched on whether infrastructure was currently able to accommodate this at this time. So we're really looking at it from this. By the way, with regard to the request for comments, again, please send your comments if you are still interested in this. But also, we will be doing two listening sessions, one in Michigan and one in California. Coming up, we have not set the exact dates and locations yet, but if we will post that obviously on our website, fmcsa.dot.gov, and we're looking for input because we believe that there is significant interest in the marketplace, and we know that technology is moving in that direction. The first thing that we are looking for is to see what regulatory impediments exist in our space that would preclude innovation. And the truth is that we are very highly regulated both on the driver side and on the vehicle side. So that's going to take some work to pare that down and make that useful.
Great. Thank you. So if we were to put that in some concrete terms, we know based on this discussion that if a developer of a passenger car wanted to automate it, that there would be no FMVSS that would be an obstacle, and that there would be a California regime that under which they could test or even operate, and that other states would have other legal approaches. So if we were to apply that same question to, let's say, a commercial truck that would be crossing state boundaries, a developer wants to automate that. Can they? What's the level of interaction with FMCSA?
Well, the truth is, from our standpoint, frankly, if they came to us for any waivers or any latitude, we would certainly be willing to do that as long as we know how it's going to be operated in a safe environment. But right now, everything in our regulations assumes that there is a driver behind the wheel. Now, that driver may not be engaged at the time, but it always assumes that there is going to be a driver behind the wheel.
And so what does that mean then for the developer? Would they be able to navigate that regime, or is the answer we don't know yet?
Well, we don't know yet. We're working through that, but we're not. We certainly would encourage it, and we're not. There's testing that's going on right now that FMCSA has not been an impediment to development, and we believe that that's going to continue throughout the country. And it's certainly happening, obviously not under our control, but offshore as well.
Great. And you alluded to the sort of the special political and social context of commercial trucking and heavier vehicles. As Bernard can tell us, the California rules do not apply and in fact prohibit testing of heavy vehicles. The bills in Congress in their latest form would not apply by and large to commercial trucks. How would these developments interact with the kind of regulatory review that you're doing?
Well, again, I think right now what we're doing at FMCSA is looking at, well, how would we have to change? So that's kind of the space that we're in right now, and that's where we're getting the feedback. Even if much of it is, about concerns, we know that, look, we have to be prepared for it because the market's going to drive this, and if we have to be prepared. We can't turn on a dime either. In our space, it is all about drivers and it is all about the vehicles and it's about inspection of the vehicles as well. How does that change? One of the big issues, and as of course it crosses into the passenger side too, is the cybersecurity aspect of the